Jump up, get ready to move. Feel the beat, get into the groove. Then hold a vision of how it will be. Now act upon it, and then you will see. Well, come on.
Do you have a millionaire mind as a musician? If not, would you like to cultivate one? Well, that's what we're going to address on this episode of the Music Marketing Podcast. I'm Bob Baker, and believe it or not, this is episode 100. Woohoo! That's right. I'm considering this episode 100 of the podcast. The last one that I numbered was 95. That was several back, and I sort of counted through the ones since then. A couple of them were kind of like announcements. They weren't really episodes. So that means that this one, let's just make it official between me and you right now. This is episode 100. So I'm thrilled to be able to hit this milestone. Now here's the deal. Now considering that I've been podcasting since 2005, it's kind of lame in a way that I'm just now getting to 100, considering that 11 years have passed. So I admit I've been a little inconsistent with publishing these on a regular basis. I'm celebrating more than 11 years of podcasting, and the 100th episode used to be called Artist Empowerment Radio, and then I switched it to the Music Marketing Podcast because that's really what the focus was. Now I have a separate podcast called The Creative Entrepreneur that caters to creative people of all types, while this podcast caters specifically to musicians like you. So thank you for tuning in. Whether you've been listening for 2 weeks or 2 years or 11 years, I appreciate you tuning in. And this episode is brought to you by the 9 Irrefutable Laws of Music Marketing, which just happens to be my latest paperback book. It's another milestone for me as an author. It's my 14th physical paperback book. The 9 Irrefutable Laws of Music Marketing. And actually, this one has been available as an ebook in the Kindle store on Amazon for several months now. But just last month, I finally formatted it for the print version. And just yesterday, the proof copy arrived from the printer. It looked wonderful. I actually recorded a video of me opening it for the first time. Maybe I'll link to that in the show notes. It's up on YouTube right now. It's a big moment for an author, to hold in your hands that new book. Whether it's the first one or the 14th one, it's still an exciting thing. So I shared that on video for anyone who's interested in checking it out. So now you can go to Amazon in about 12 or so countries and order either the ebook version or the paperback version of the 9 Irrefutable Laws of Music Marketing. In this book, I cover what I consider to be the 9 core timeless principles. So no matter what websites or what technology or what apps or what no social media thing is happening, under the hood, what's powering everything are these 9 timeless laws that are in effect no matter what is going on otherwise. And so I find it comforting to know that there are actually some things you can cling to no matter what the latest gadget or website or social media flavor of the week is going on, if you know what I'm saying. So since this is a milestone episode 100, I'm going to dip into my archives, actually. I went back a few years, and this is one that I did that I thought was really good about the millionaire mindset as it applies to creative people. And so I hope you enjoy this little dip into the archives. Just my voice sounds a little bit different. I was so much younger then, so I sound completely different. Or maybe it's just because I was using a different mic. But here we go. Enjoy. Do you have a millionaire mind? Now, one way to increase the flow of money into your life is to study the ways that other successful people do it. And here's a hint. It's not about getting an inheritance, ripping people off, or being a super salesperson. Now, Reader's Digest may not be the first magazine that you pick up at the newsstand, but last year it ran an interesting article called Secrets of Self-Made Millionaires. And believe it or not, there's a lot of lessons that musicians can learn from these tips. So here's some of my main takeaways from that article. One is don't paint yourself into a small corner. Think big. The article quotes Secrets of the Millionaire Mind author T. Harv Eker,
this way, quote, "The biggest obstacle to wealth is fear. People are afraid to think big, but if you think small, you'll only achieve small things," end quote. Now, I admit I wrestle with this myself. I make a nice living as an author who serves a niche market, mainly aspiring independent musicians. I'm now branching off into aspiring authors and book publishers, but it's a slice, it's a small niche. And I always advocate that artists should serve their ideal slice of their fan population too, not try to please everyone. I still embrace that philosophy, but that doesn't mean you should limit yourself or downplay the impact that you can have with your music, with your art, with your writing. You can serve a niche in a big way and profit accordingly. And should you choose to do so, and if you can find the fan support there in your quest, you can take your music, your art, whatever it is, to a wider and wider audience and operate from a bigger and bigger stage. That is possible. So don't play small. I try to raise the level of my own activities every year. You should do the same. But that won't happen until you first give yourself permission to think big and then act accordingly. Second thing I took away from the article is educate yourself. Here's another quote from the article, quote, "One of the biggest obstacles to making money is not understanding it. Thousands of us avoid investing because we just don't get it. But to make money, you must be financially literate," end quote. Now, even if you don't have much money to work with and invest with right now, start preparing for the day when you do. Get comfortable with cash flow and how to direct it. Here's a little hint. The wealthiest people are very good at saving it and giving it away to worthwhile causes. Now, this education thing extends far beyond finances for me, but I've made a lifelong habit out of feeding my mind with positive messages and information on marketing, publicity, and sales, in addition to health, wealth, and spirituality. And it all gets ingrained, and it makes you a better and more prosperous person. So invest in your education. Invest the time, invest the money in books, workshops, so on. Third thing I took away from the article, the passion principle. Here's another quote. According to research by Thomas J. Stanley, the author of The Millionaire Mind, over 80% of millionaires say they never would have been successful if their vocation wasn't something that they truly cared about, end quote. Now, you already have this one down, I'm sure, because you love what you do. But this is more than just do what you love and the money will follow. It's about staying connected to your passion for music, for art, whatever, and finding a way to serve your fans and make a living doing it. So stay connected to that passion and why you're doing it in the first place. Stay connected to the joy. So those are just some of the success secrets of self-made millionaires. Think big, educate yourself, and immerse yourself in something you love that serves others in a meaningful way. You ready to take the plunge? Awesome. There's no time like the present.
I hope you enjoyed those insights into having a millionaire mind as a musician. And you know what? I would love to stay in touch with you a little bit more than just being in your ears for these podcasts. If you're not already on the Buzz Factor email list, it's really easy to do. I have been sending out music career tips by email since the mid-90s, easily the longest running email career tips newsletter on the planet. And if you're not getting it, please do so now. All you got to do is go to thebuzzfactor.com, thebuzzfactor.com. Look over in the right-hand corner for an image of the Music Marketing Secrets Report. That's one of a few free resources that you get as a perk for getting on the list. It's definitely worth your while. So let's keep in touch that way as well. All right, thanks again for listening. Have an awesome day. I'll talk to you soon. This is Bob Baker saying so long for now.
Jump up, get ready to move. Feel the beat, get into the groove. Then hold a vision of how it will be. Now act upon it, and then you will see. Well, come on.